Today we're going to be reviewing the Bont Cycling Reflex Vapor S cycling shoe. So here we have Bont Cycling's Vapor S shoes. These are one of their most popular shoes, and there's a good reason for that. It's really lightweight, high performance, and offers a lot of customization. There's quite a few variations of this. What I have here today is the Vapor S in the Reflex line. And what that means, it has a reflective, retro-reflective finish on here. So a really nice feature if you're doing nighttime riding. Retail price on these is $379. And as part of the Reflex line, you get two color options. What I have here is the Ghost version. This is a Euro 44 wide. They also have something called Havoc, which has a different color scheme. It's a darker, lighter version, but with the same retro-reflective finish. Now the Vapor S is available in different variations. They have the Vapor Plus, which is a little better, more supple upper construction for Grand Fondas and longer rides, as well as multiple variations for gravel riding, full customization, and a track model. What really makes Bont Cycling shoes unique is their very anatomical design. And you can see that right out of the box. The shape of the shoes really matches an actual foot, rather than having your foot really conform to the shoe. It has a handmade unidirectional carbon chassis here, and this is actually fully heat moldable too, which is a feature you find in most of the Bont Cycling line. So that really lets you customize the fit even further. You have replaceable heel pads, a Durolite upper material, and it's quite stiff with ventilation holes. You get dual BOA IP1 dial, so you get micro adjustment in both directions. Inside the bag, the box, you also get a Bont Cycling bag for transporting or storing the shoes, which is a nice touch, as well as replacement bolts, which I believe should match any standard cleat bolts. Now let's take a moment to look at the weight of the shoes. So the left shoe comes in at 276 grams, while the right shoe comes in at 272. So definitely on the lighter end of the scale for cycling shoes. Now let's take a closer look at the fit and finish of the Vapor S shoes. These are Bont Cycling's most popular model, and with the Reflex line, they've added a really nice retro-reflective finish on here. So if I take a light and flash it on here, I'm not sure how well it shows up on camera, but you can tell it really lights up. We'll take some nighttime photos to actually show this better. But it's a really cool finish. It has a sparkle, and it really lights up at night, so adds a little bit of safety if you're riding early morning or later in the day. Now with the Vapor S, you get a more traditional fixture system. So you get a dual IP1 dial, so micro adjustment in both directions, pull up to release. And I really like this over laces, as you can do micro adjustments on the road. In terms of the upper design, it's very stiff, so a lot less forgiving than some softer shoes on the market, particularly like the Shimano S-PHYREs. And you can actually feel it when you rub around the edges, that the unibody chassis actually comes all the way up and around and gives your toe support. So really stiff here, all the way around. You have this dimpled finish here for extra speed, of course. And then perforations here for ventilation. You also have some ventilation, meshed ventilation holes near the front, and the replaceable toe pad here, heel pad, which is a really nice feature. It lets you really use these shoes longer. These shoes are made in China, but they are handmade, and you can actually tell that by these kind of unfinished edges here. So it gives it a much more raw look. You have hand stitching all the way here. So much more customized, and with so many size variations on these shoes, you can get any size to match your feet. They have half sizes, standard width, wide width, Asian width. And a full customization program as well if you don't fit the mold. The sole is really where the shoe shines. It's very anatomical. You can see the shape of it is quite bulky. That's why one reason these shoes look so unique is instead of narrowing out near the arches, they actually stay quite wide all the way through. So it makes it look more like a slipper than a standard cycling shoe. They're fully heat moldable as well, and we'll do that before we take these on the road. And the heat molding gives you the option to really customize the fit. So if you have any pressure points, you can really take care of that before you ride. The insoles that are included with the shoe are fairly standard. They're described as EVA moldable, so I imagine these will actually adjust to your feet a little bit as well. They have drainage holes on the side. Not as slick as, say, the S-PHYRE, which comes with different arch support options. But with the heat moldable chassis, I think it's a good compromise. So we also tried the heat molding process with the Vapor S shoes, as they didn't quite fit really well right out of the box. As someone with wider feet and high arches, we decided to go through the process. We turned on the oven to the 160 degree Fahrenheit, took out the insoles, and then put the shoes in there for about 10 to 20 minutes, checking on them every 5 minutes. Once they were soft enough, we did the awkward dance of standing there with our legs slightly bent. And in the end, we found it really helped. The fit was much better after the process. Now let's take the shoes out on the road. As I mentioned, the heat molding process really helped. And with the wider toe box of these shoes and the 44 wide that we tested, it was quite eye-opening. As someone with wider feet, it was really amazing to actually have my toes wiggle within the shoes, even with the fixture cinched down. They feel super light, really great power transfer, and the shoes kind of blend away for me at least. It doesn't even feel like I'm wearing the shoes when riding. Now let's do a little comparison between the Vapor S shoes and other shoes on the market. What I've laid out here is everything from the more traditional shoe all the way up to the Bont Cycling flagship, the Helix. So first let's start with the more traditional shoe. This is the FXX from FLR, something we've reviewed here as well. It's $250, carbon fiber outsole, but a lot more traditional design. So if we take the Vapor S and put them side by side, you can really tell right off the bat. The FLR has a more traditional platform where you have an outsole and you have the upper, and the outsole simply serves as a platform. So you can see the carbon fiber simply extends on the bottom to provide stiffness. With Bont Cycling shoes, the carbon fiber chassis, it serves more as a chassis than a simple outsole. And it actually wraps all the way around and extends all the way through the platform of the shoe. So a little more different and a more custom design. Next up we have is one of my favorite shoes, the RC9 Shimano S-PHYREs. These are really beautiful with this color shifting design. These are also very anatomical, and at $400 they're equally expensive compared to the Bont. So as you can see here, as you go more expensive with shoes, they get more anatomical and the outsole becomes more integrated with the uppers. So with Shimano, it really extends all the way down. You have the external heel cup, replaceable heel pad, a lot of the same features. But again, Bont Cycling is more anatomical. You can see the shape. The outsole on the Bont Cycling shoe is a lot wider all the way through and more anatomically shaped to your actual foot. There's also a big difference in the upper. So if you look at the Shimano shoe, it's really flexible and soft, while the Vapor S shoe is a lot less forgiving. And the actual outsole extends all the way up here, so you can see I can't actually extend that up. It actually flares over. Another interesting comparison is looking at the two flagships together. So we have the Helix here, and a really bright color scheme, versus the Vapor S. Now they share a lot in common. You can see the soles are quite similar. You have the unidirectional handmade carbon fiber. You have the same upper material, the Durolite. Same stiffness, same wraparound design. The big difference here are the fixture systems. So with the Helix, you get a single dial, and the lacing actually extends all the way through the sole and back around. So quite unique, and you end up with a single dial with a little bit difference of a design. With the Vapor S, you have a little bit more traditional tongue design and dual dial lacing system. Now let's go over the final verdict for the Vapor S Reflex shoes. We're going to grade it on 4 different categories: design, closures, comfort, and value. In terms of design, I've given an A-. The shoes definitely have a form follows function approach, with the upper and the outsoles really designed in unison as more of a chassis than as a two-part design. However, they're not quite as flashy as some other flagship shoes on the market due to the anatomical form of them. Closure-wise, it's definitely an A. The dual direction IP1 dial is a great formula. They provide you micro adjustments in both directions. Comfort-wise, again, another A, especially with these wide soles. I found these things were fit like a glove. Definitely forget you're wearing the shoes, and whether you're doing a short ride or a long ride, these are definitely a great shoe to consider. Value-wise, also an A. I know these retail for a rather high price, but the fact that you can do heat molding means you can really get a custom fit without that really high custom price. Thanks for watching this review. If you like the content, don't forget to like and subscribe. You can also see more content from us on our website at thesweetcyclist.com, as well as follow us on Instagram at thesweetcyclist. This is The Sweet Cyclist reminding you to enjoy the ride.